Societies collapse when the stories they've been telling themselves no longer work. But collapse is not death, it is invitation. When the old meaning falls apart, something new can be built. This is where matrical thinking begins. Matrical thinking is the ability to think in systems, across forces, across illusions. It is the recognition that the self, society, and the unknown are always working simultaneously, independently, and interdependently. Linear thought asks, what is the truth? Matrical thought asks, what system produced the truth? And who deserves it? Matrical thinking allows you to navigate the dread without needing quick answers. It teaches you that meaning is not found, it is forged. And once you realize that, you stop waiting to be saved. You stop needing permission. You become the creator. That is the purpose of life. Not to discover meaning, but to create meaning that serves the self, the society, and prepares for the unknown. And when that meaning stops serving, the overman creates again, because in a meaningless universe, meaning is not an inheritance, it's an act of rebellion. And creation is the only rebellion that changes the future. Actualized faith. The overman is defined by his ability to lead in the unknown through actualized faith, by creating where others cling. Religions, governments, and economies try to dominate the matrix by isolating one pillar, worshiping society, collectivism, the self, capitalism, or claiming mastery over the unknown, religion. The overman is born in the ruins of these systems. He does not lead by tradition. He does not lead by fear. He leads by actualized faith. Actualized faith is not the belief in a God or a book or a system. It is not reciting what you were told. It is not obedience disguised as trust. It is not fear wearing a cross, a flag, or a philosophy. Actualized faith is the belief in the self as the meaning maker of the universe. It is the awareness that meaning is not inherited, it is created. And in a world without guarantees, to create is the boldest act a human can make. Most people spend their lives avoiding the unknown. They run towards dogma, ideology, tradition, anything to avoid the abyss. But the overman walks into the abyss. He sees that it is empty and chooses to build anyway. He understands that if meaning is not real, then he must become the source of it. That is actualized faith. That is why liars, manipulators, and narcissists rise to power, because they understand the unknown better than most. They know that truth only matters when it's believed. That in courtrooms, in politics, in relationships, it's not about what is, but about what can be made real through confidence, language, and force of will. They actualize their faith, but only to the benefit of self. They shape reality like gods, but only for themselves. They weaponize the unknown, not to uplift, but to dominate. They act like overmen, but without responsibility to the matrix. That is the difference. The liar creates control. The overman creates meaning to liberate. This faith is not passive. It is not hopeful. It is not as, it acts. Actualized faith is creative. It is visionary. It is dangerous. It says, I will build a future I may never live to see. It says, I will walk into what I do not understand and shape it anyway. It is the only sustainable response to the unknown, because the unknown is eternal. There will always be things we cannot control, cannot prove, but that does not mean we do not do nothing. It means we lead with faith, not faith that waits, but faith that creates. This is the overman's burden and his power. This is also why most won't become overmen yet. The harsh truth is this: not everyone will become an overman. Most people will never choose to stare into the unknown. Most will never accept that meaning must be created, not given. Most will never survive nihilism without falling into fear, addiction, or conformity. And that's okay. Because the overman does not lead so everyone can become him. He leads so that everyone may benefit from what he becomes. Just as 99% of reality remains unseen, 99% of people will never see the matrix. They will feel it, they will be shaped by it, but they will not step outside of it. And they will not rebuild it. This is why the overman must build societies that account for the 99%, not by suppressing them, but by designing systems that lift them higher. Not every self will create meaning, but every self deserves a chance to find it. And that is the job of the overman. To live it as an example, not as a ruler. To lead by creation, not control. The overman does not hoard enlightenment. He does not gatekeep transcendence. He plants seeds in art, in law, in systems, in culture, so that even those who do not understand him can benefit from his vision. Because unlike leaders of the past, who ruled by fear, the overman leads by faith. Not faith that everyone will rise, but faith that if systems are built right, they will have a chance. The overman does not worship the matrix. He masters it. Not with arrogance, but with awareness. Not with tradition, but with truth. You are holding a weapon, not a map, not a comfort, a new way of seeing, a new way of becoming. This is not a book of beliefs. It is a book of builders. Everything you've read so far has been preparation, a dismantling of the illusions, a confrontation with what most refuse to face, that you are the meaning maker, that nothing is coming to save you, that your creation is your only salvation. The next 3 sections will take you deeper into the self, into society, and into the unknown, not as abstract theories, but as the raw materials of your life. You will not be told what to believe. You will be shown how to see. Because when you see clearly, you build differently. And when you build differently, you lead differently. And when you lead differently, you change everything. This is where the real work begins. Not to understand the matrix, but to move inside of it, to bend it, to reshape it, and leave your fingerprints on it. Because if nothing matters, then what you create is all that ever will.